We just got some huge news as it relates to crypto adoption, big banks. There's a major update. It has to do with FDIC, which stands for Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. They recently updated their guidelines and now allowing FDIC supervised banks to engage in crypto related activities without the prior approval that was previously required. This move is seen as a huge step in the right direction towards broader acceptance and mainstreaming of crypto within the financial sector.
Did you know that in just 1 hour, a 64-minute chain outage could be the spark that sets off a financial revolution? That's right. Today we're diving into a world where precision meets controversy, a world where the very foundations of finance could be on the brink of a seismic shift. I've got 3 major announcements that you need to hear right now. And trust me, this isn't your everyday crypto chatter. Whether you're a die-hard XRP holder, a curious investor, or someone just looking to catch the wave before it crashes, strap in and get ready for the inside scoop that everyone else is missing.
Man, if you're holding any type of cryptocurrency right now, this might be the most eerie tweet you've ever read. We're about to read this from Paul Graham, the essayist, entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and a bunch of other things, as well to be very connected in the crypto space. Now, just tweeted out this, which is so eerie. He said, as a person I have known for more than 10 years who I consider trustworthy, is convinced that the cryptocurrency economy will shortly experience a systemic risk. No, anything more concrete, but if I were exposed, I would be concerned. He pretty much just says that was a copy-paste of what his friend said. Some people are pointing at this guy, Robert Scobie, but this, of course, sparked a huge debate in the community. It might just be a nothing burger. I don't know. Regardless of whatever happens, make sure to follow my IG, because if you see this right here, you could have made money as we called this crash on November 12th on Ethereum.
You see, there's a lot being said about Ripple and its XRP chain, especially after that baffling 64-minute outage that has everyone asking questions. Major news outlets like Benzinga and others have been screaming about a so-called reputation meltdown for XRP. But here's the kicker. While the noise might make you think that this outage is a sign of weakness, I've been digging deep into the facts, and what I've discovered might just flip the narrative on its head. The XRP chain goes dark for 64 minutes. To many, it's a red flag, a sign of a failing system. But if you've been paying attention, you know that sometimes chaos is the catalyst for opportunity. Think about it. If Wall Street can orchestrate events to manipulate prices and create the perfect entry point, then maybe this outage wasn't a glitch at all. Just imagine, the same institutions that file ETF applications for XRP right after a chain outage might be positioning themselves to buy in at rock-bottom prices. Does that sound like a coincidence to you?
XRP just stopped working for over an hour. Is this a safety feature or proof that XRP is too centralized? The XRP ledger halted transactions for 64 minutes due to a validator issue. Critics say this exposes centralization risks, while defenders argue it's a necessary failsafe to protect the network. The real question, can a network truly be decentralized if just a few validators can halt everything? Some say this is just growing pains, while others think XRP is losing credibility. What do you think? Is this a problem or just FUD before XRP halts again?
Now let's break this down. I'm dollar cost averaging into XRP and Ondo Finance because I see major upside, not just in the short term, but over the long haul. And while some might panic over the headlines, I'm here to give you the full, unfiltered story. Many are quick to jump on the fear train when they hear chain outage, but when you look closer, the timing is just too perfect. Think about it. As soon as XRP went offline, there was a surge in ETF filings. Big names in the industry are lining up, and it's almost as if the market was engineered to make XRP look vulnerable, only to be picked up by the savvy players who know how to strike when the iron is cold. Now let's talk about those big dogs for a minute. Ever heard of Larry Fink? No? Well, you should. As the CEO of BlackRock, he's one of the most influential figures in the world of institutional finance. Back in the day, he was all over the news trashing Bitcoin, calling it a risky venture. Fast forward to now, and BlackRock's ETF for Bitcoin has doubled in value since its launch. That transformation tells you something. Sometimes the very institutions that publicly dismiss an asset are secretly plotting their next big move. And if they're doing it with Bitcoin, why wouldn't they be eyeing XRP with the same hunger?
And when you think about all the people who send money they may work in one country, send money back home. They generally do that through organizations that charge 5 to 10%. Yeah. There is a need, whether it's a Libra or something else, to democratize the exchange of foreign currencies.
Speaking of orchestrated moves, let's not overlook the arrival of Grayscale's XRP ETF filing. That's right. While the mainstream narrative paints the XRP chain outage as a disaster, behind the scenes, the big institutions are busy lining up their investments. You've also got the CBOE filing and documents emerging from Bitwise, along with fresh ETF applications from 21 Shares, Canary Capital, and WisdomTree. Each one of these filings is a signal that the establishment sees value where the noise is at its peak. And here's a question for you. If the institutions are scrambling to get in, what does that say about the future of XRP? Now, if you're thinking this is just another pump and dump scheme, I want you to consider the bigger picture. The whole point here isn't just about riding a fleeting trend, it's about recognizing that we're at the cusp of a massive paradigm shift. Ondo Finance isn't far behind in this race either. They're about to unveil an integrated infrastructure suite on the Ono blockchain, designed to bridge the gap between Wall Street and crypto. Imagine traditional financial institutions finally getting their hands on a blockchain that's secure, efficient, and practically bulletproof against fraud. That's not just innovation, that's a revolution in how we think about money.
Grayscale is moving to turn its digital large cap fund into an ETF featuring major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Avalanche. The legal drama between XRP and the SEC is winding down, paving the way for XRP ETFs. This could attract more traditional investors to the crypto space as the industry undergoes a Wall Street-like transformation. The crypto landscape is shifting rapidly, and this move may bring a new wave of investors into the digital asset market.
When you see Wall Street moving like snakes, plotting, scheming, and lining up their positions, you know that something monumental is brewing. It's as if every outage, every sudden filing, every insider move is a piece of a larger puzzle. The truth is, XRP's reputation might be getting a bad rap from misinterpreted data, but in reality, these very challenges could be what propels it into a new era of growth. Let's take a moment to talk about reputation. News outlets have been quick to call the XRP chain untrustworthy following that 64-minute downtime. But if you've done your research, you'll know that the narrative is often spun by those who want you to see only the surface-level story. The truth? There's a strategic play at work here. Institutions love to create a sense of chaos to mask their true intentions. They want the everyday investor to think, this is a disaster, while they quietly load up on XRP at prices that make no sense to the average Joe. And that's exactly what's happening right now.
Price prediction revealed for XRP for 2025-2026. This is XRP right here on the monthly time frame. We could see right here that XRP has been bouncing up and down, making a tighter and tighter range, creating a nice little symmetrical triangle on the monthly time frame. Now, what exactly is my price target? Well, if I actually take the top of the symmetrical triangle to the bottom and I actually extend that, we could see that XRP does give us a price of $20.60. Now, these symmetrical triangles are pretty accurate. Now, I don't know if we're going to get that high to $20.60 because that means that XRP would have to go to a market cap of $1.1 trillion. The full video for XRP will be below if you guys want to see more of it. I do think that it's possible, and pretty much that's about it.
Now, family, I need you to look at this from another angle. Think about the recent drop in legal hurdles. Ripple's long, arduous battle with the SEC might finally be behind us. With the lawsuit dropped just before the final deadline, Ripple has effectively proven that XRP isn't a security. This isn't just a legal win, it's a massive vote of confidence. When the SEC backs down, conservative investors and large financial institutions suddenly see a crypto asset that's less risky and more promising. Imagine banks and currency exchanges, long held back by regulatory fears, now embracing XRP as a legitimate tool for fast, low-cost transactions. That's a game changer, and it doesn't stop there. With the legal clouds lifting, we're now witnessing a surge in institutional interest. 9 asset management companies have filed for ETFs that hold XRP. This isn't just window dressing. If these ETFs get approved, it means a flood of capital will be directed into XRP, driving up both demand and price. It's like opening the floodgates to a new era of liquidity. And every time you see more ETF filings, remember, it all ties back to our central theme.
XRP, the token closely linked to Ripple Labs, is showing signs of a potential breakout as its price chart forms a symmetrical triangle pattern alongside other bullish technical indicators. XRP's price action is tightening as it approaches the apex of the triangle. This setup, commonly observed in crypto markets, often precedes a sharp move, either upward or downward, depending on the direction of the breakout. Fibonacci retracement analysis further supports this outlook, identifying $2.04 as a key support level and $2.20 as a critical resistance. XRP analyst Dark Defender saying a break above $2.20 could confirm the bullish trend, potentially driving XRP toward the $5 to $8 range in the midterm. Tailwinds include a closed-door meeting on April 3rd when the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is expected to vote to dismiss its appeal on whether XRP is a security. A U.S. House crypto hearing on April 9th is further expected to advance regulatory clarity on digital assets.
While the institutional players are lining up their strategies, Ondo Finance is quietly laying the groundwork for its own revolution. With their integrated infrastructure suite, they're not just following the trends, they're setting them. By creating a seamless way for Wall Street to get on board with crypto, Ondo Finance is effectively rewriting the playbook. It's a bold move that signals a new era where traditional finance and crypto aren't at odds, but rather are partners in the same game. And when that happens, the ripple effect could be astronomical. I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a lot of talk. How do I know it's not just hype? And that's a fair question. The crypto world is notorious for its ups and downs, and no one can predict the future with absolute certainty. But if you look at the patterns, these are not isolated events. The chain outage, the ETF filings, the renewed interest from financial institutions, the groundbreaking move by Ondo Finance, it's all part of a coordinated strategy. And while there might be a crypto winter ahead, these moves are designed to position XRP for a long-term rally.
Ondo Finance expanding their institutional reach with OUSG deployment on the XRP freaking ledger. This is enormous news, guys. Ondo Finance will deploy Ondo short-term U.S. government treasuries, its tokenized U.S. Treasury fund, on XRPL, a decentralized layer 1 blockchain. This, to me, is the next big movement in crypto and blockchain.
Ondo Finance put out this morning. We are bridging OUSG, the stablecoin behind Ondo Finance, for their treasuries side, to the XRP ledger with Ripple OUSG. It's an institutional grade product backed by tokenized U.S. treasuries and BlackRock's Biddle fund, representing a natural fit for the blockchain purpose-built of institutional adoption. You can see more here on how Ondo and Ripple are powering institutional grade finance on chain. This is posted into their blog.
Remember that feeling when you're on the edge of something monumental? That's what I'm talking about here. Every setback, every headline, every so-called failure of the XRP chain might just be the buildup to the next big breakthrough. It's a high-stakes game, and the players behind the scenes are working tirelessly to ensure that when the moment comes, they're not just ready, they're in control. Now let's circle back to that question I posed earlier. Why would the big institutions orchestrate an outage that leaves XRP's reputation hanging by a thread? Think about it. By creating a moment of uncertainty, they can scare off the average investor while they quietly buy at a discount. It's a tactic as old as Wall Street itself. They feed you the story of instability, and then when the dust settles, they're in a position to load up on an asset that's already on its way to redemption. And if that doesn't send shivers down your spine, I don't know what will.
People have got no idea what's here, guys, and how big XRP is going to become. And when we look at XRP's price, we can see what it's about to do. Interestingly, technically, this is all signaled. Just like back here, we were telling you guys something major is coming. So the big term pattern is taking us, this big wedge forming since 2017 to $19.27. And actually on the smaller time frames, we've just got continuation pattern after continuation pattern after we've kept you up on. Despite yesterday's deep seat dip, look at that for a buy. This is ultimately just going to end up being continuation once again. And we did say $4.30 is next. then $11.26, then $19, and then potentially above and beyond. So what we have is this fundamental shift technologically that Ripple is pioneering with XRP, and also technically an amazing trajectory ahead from a price point of view.
And here's a little homework for you. Look up the latest filings for XRP ETFs from CBOE, Bitwise, 21 Shares, Canary Capital, and WisdomTree. See the documents for yourself and ask the hard questions. Is this just speculation, or is there a clear, calculated play at work? The more you dig, the more you'll realize that these moves are too coordinated to be mere coincidence. Now, while all of this institutional maneuvering is unfolding, remember that every great opportunity comes with its share of risk. I'm not saying you should throw caution to the wind and bet your entire portfolio on XRP. Instead, think of this as an opportunity to position yourself ahead of the curve. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a newcomer looking to dip your toes in the crypto waters, now might be the time to consider your strategy carefully.
XRP ETFs? CBOE just submitted 4 spot XRP ETF applications. Could this be a game changer for the crypto market? CBOE Global Markets, a leading stock exchange, has filed 4 spot XRP ETF applications. If approved, these ETFs would allow traditional investors to gain exposure to XRP without buying the crypto directly. Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs have already made waves. Will XRP be next? With growing institutional interest, could this push XRP's price to new highs? Will the SEC approve these ETFs?
The truth is, the crypto market has always been a roller coaster of highs and lows. But when the fundamentals start aligning and the big players make their moves, you know that history is being written. And in this case, history might just be waiting for you to decide whether to watch from the sidelines or to be part of something groundbreaking. The narrative here isn't about fear, it's about opportunity. It's about recognizing that every setback has the potential to be a setup for a massive comeback. And when the institutions take notice, when they finally get the clearance to move freely in the market, XRP could very well be the catalyst for a new era in digital finance.
Imagine a world where XRP becomes the go-to crypto for half the planet. Mind-blowing, right? Let's crunch some numbers and see what this could mean for XRP's price. With 7.8 billion people on Earth, we're talking about 3.9 billion XRP users. Now, there are only 100 billion XRP tokens in existence. Do the math and you'll see we're looking at serious scarcity. Some experts predict this scenario could skyrocket XRP's price to $100, even $500 per token. But hold on to your hats, because the wildest estimates go as high as $1,000 or more. Of course, this is all speculation, but it's fun to dream big.
If you found this breakdown as riveting as I did, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going, because when it comes to crypto, knowledge is power, and timing is everything. Until next time, remember, in a market where every second counts, the opportunity to change your financial future might just be one decisive moment away. And as always, keep your eyes open, your mind sharp, and never stop questioning the narrative.